After 20 years with the Patriots, it's been a while since Tom Brady has had to learn an entirely new playbook and system from scratch. The 43-year-old QB said he was glad there was not a game this Sunday because learning a new playbook has been, quote, really tough. So, Shannon, is this a big deal or no big deal?
Skip, is a deal. I think the thing is that when the thing that makes great players great, once they understand what they're doing, is that they just react. They just go play football. You don't have to guess. Because I've seen guys come in that's immensely talented, but they don't really understand the playbook, and so they're very hesitant. And then once they pick it up, they just take off. And that was going to be the thing for Tom Brady. Having been a guy that had to learn different playbooks, when you hear the verbiage, you just know, you're not even really paying attention. You just break the huddle. Now Tom has to stay like, okay, and you try to put it into, because the plays are very similar. I mean, the route combinations, but it's just different verbiage. It's almost like you're learning a different language. Skip, you speak if you speak English, and then all of a sudden you go somewhere, you go to go to a Spanish-speaking country, and you try to pick that up, and you got to learn it by, okay, what does it say? They point to it, say, oh, okay.
That happened to you in Baltimore?
It did. It happened where I was with Dan Reeves, so I knew his offense. That was totally different, Skip, because normally odd numbers are to your left.
You mean when Shannon took...
When Dan Reeves, got Jim Fossil next.
Yeah.
And what was the hardest part, Skip, is that odd numbers in Dan's system was right. 135 is to the right.
That's cowboy.
246 is to the left. I'm like, what the... That confused me because when has odd ever been to the right? And then I get Jim Fossil, and then I get the West Coast, and then I go to Baltimore, and all of this, and I'm like, okay, what is this? It's the same thing. They call it a 7 route. It's called Chevy, okay? So now I got to try to put it in terminology that I'm used to. So it took me a while, Skip, to pick up so I can just let my ability just take over. Tom has ability, but right now he's like, okay, I've been hearing such and such for 20 years. Think about that, Skip. That's very unique. You've heard the same verbiage for 20 years. And now all of a sudden you go to a new locale. So right now he can't let his ability take over because he's still trying to get the concept of what, and because it's really hard. It's hard for me. Imagine he needs to know what to do. All the receivers, where they're going to be, where the tight end's going to be, where the back's going to be, the line protection. Do I need to shift this line? Do I need to make a rip or Liz call? Do I need to make sure I keep the back end? So there's a lot going on in his mind right now, Skip. And if he could have gotten some, OTAs, if he could have had a mini camp, he'd have been ahead of the curve. But Skip, at the end of the day, you need to be on the field to get some learning.
So are you saying, bottom line, Tom Brady is in trouble in Tampa?
No, he's not in trouble, Skip. I mean, if they had to play today, he'd be in trouble. He'd be way behind Drew Brees.
They got 5 weeks.
Exactly. Skip, he's not illiterate. He can learn, can't he?
September 13th.
But he gonna catch the L. And I don't want to hear no excuse. He gonna catch the L.
I think you just gave him a huge pass for game 1.
No, I ain't giving no pass. Yeah. No, you don't get no pass.
This is difficult.
No, you got caught in the hall without a pass. And sometimes even if you had a pass, you got caught in the hall, you had to go to detention.
Well, you start off, you're giving him breaks and passes. You're saying, this is hard, man.
It is.
After 19 years, all of a sudden, you're speaking Spanish.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So that surprised me that you were giving him a break because I give him no break for any of this. And when I read these quotes, I didn't love these quotes because I thought, just stop it.
You want him to lie. You want him to lie.
No, I just don't need to hear it. He breaks it down into, I'm having to learn my way to work. How do I drive? What streets do I take to work? And then he said, I've got to learn all the guys' names. Okay.
Man, don't come back with no name.
Then he said, I can't find my way right now to the full meeting room and the quarterback room. I'm not sure every day I have to, do I go down this hall or do I go down that hall? I don't care. He's Tom Brady. He's the GOAT. He'll figure it out.
And guess what? Tom Brady, goats get lost too. Yeah, learning your way around, Skip. You're in a different city. So let me get this straight. So you are, when you just got to Chicago, you just knew exactly where to go. Or you got to Dallas. No, you had to learn your way around. It wasn't like you were living when you were in L.A. You had spent much time in L.A., so you know your way around. You know how to navigate. I was in Denver all that time, and then all of a sudden I go to Baltimore, and I'm like, damn, I missed my turn.
Yep.
So, yeah, that happens.
First time I came to L.A. right out pretty soon after college. There's no internet.
Yeah,
I got one of those giant Mapsco things where you got to look up, and I'm driving all around L.A., going everywhere trying to interview people, and it's hard. But you know what? I did it. It
Yes.
worked out.
Yes.
Tom Brady is highly capable
Yes.
of pulling this off.
Yes.
So I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't want to hear how hard it is. I don't want to hear terminology. I get it. They didn't have OTAs. He said, we're having conversations now with Coach Arians and I that we should have had in April.
Correct.
Okay? I get it, but I don't care. I don't care. I don't want to hear that. That's just excuse making.
That ain't no excuse. Skip, it's the truth.
Okay?
Ain't no excuse making.
So you're okay with excuse planting by Tom Brady?
Skip, all he's saying is that I've heard the same verbiage for 20 years. Now I'm hearing different verbiage. It's like you speak one language for 20 years, and now they ask you in a matter of months to learn a different language and to become fluent in it. That's all he's saying. That's not an excuse. That's factual. That's true.
It's called new challenge, new frontier.
Okay, yes.
He's 43 years of age, and you asked for this, and you got it.
Yes.
And you are highly capable of navigating right through it and being ready to play on September 13th. I believe they will be as ready to play on September 13th as any team, including the Saints at home. Want to bet?
Yeah, Skip, I believe they'll be ready to play, but I always commend people that are in their 20s and they take a break from school and then they go back, or someone in their 30s, because I knew when I went back and finished up my degree after my first year in Denver, I knew if I didn't go back then, I wasn't going back.
Yep.
Because I'm sitting around looking at them like, I'm 22, 23 years of age, and I'm sitting here with 17, 18-year-old, and I'm a professional. So anybody that can go back to school and sit down and to take that on, that's a huge undertaking. So for Tom Brady at 43 to be willing to subject himself to learning a new system all over again, kudos to him, not me.
So I will bet you this. I will bet you no NFL quarterback threw more passes to his receivers through the offseason and the pandemic than Tom Brady did.
But you know
I will bet you.
But you know what he's saying? Run a out, run a comeback. He wasn't tagging it with no plays. He wasn't no two-jet play to drive. Right. So I'm saying far double wing, solo. So
he is already connected. He was raving about how close he's gotten to Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and what leaders they are. And obviously he already knows Gronk, but to OJ, as he call him, or Cam, as in Cameron Brake, he's getting close to them already because he is taking them. He took them to what's called Berkeley Prep, the high school field.
Yeah.
They went every day. He was driven, because he's driven to show Belichick how wrong he was, to get to know these guys as quickly as possible. And I wanted to hear him say, we're ahead of the curve, because they are.
Well, Skip, it's like, look, in the pregame warm-up, we don't really, and like when you're not pregame, but like when you're going through individual stuff and John is just throwing, John would just tell us stuff to do. He wouldn't call no play. He would just say, okay, Shannon, give me a stick. Yeah, give me a comeback or give me something like that. So that's what Tom is doing at Berkeley Prep.
Sure.
But now, Skip, he has to tag all that together. Now all of it has to make sense. He's calling plays, and then within those plays are route combinations in which the receivers, and so that's what Tom is having to go through. Skip, it's a lot more difficult than people think.
I will bet you he has memorized the playbook.
I bet he hasn't.
I'll bet he has.
I bet he has not.
Yep.
I bet he has not.
All the
I
terminology.
bet nope.
He's had nothing but time.
That's it. I don't care.
He went straight to Tampa Bay and he rented Jeter's mansion and he said, I'm going to sit all day and all night and I'm going to memorize this playbook. Yep.
But Skip, here's the thing. Memorizing it is one thing. Now, here's
you got to call it under fire.
There you go. Now we cooking. See again. Now you started cooking with Crisco. You were using that Pam. It's easy to just recite a play. I've seen a lot of guys just quarterback. Oh, here we go, right here. Break, and then get in the game when they start bringing them up. You just called a play. You like you was also sure. We're going to find out September 13th. We got 2 cases.
He's played in 9 Super Bowls and won 6 of them.
We're using the same verbiage in the same locale. We got 2 cases on this anyway, so we ain't even worried about it. 2 cases. I
got 5 cases on Tampa Bay has a better record than Belichick.
No. We have to amend that. Skip, they got 10 guys opted out.
It's over.
They got 10
Accept
guys.
it.
Hold up. Y'all got 10 guys. We got 10 guys opted out.
I'm giving you tough love here.
Every time, Skip, you say Tampa Bay, I get a little smile on my face. Like, it just, I'm so excited. September 13th, you guys keep mentioning it. Obviously, on Fox, Drew versus Tom. We are getting close to a month away, and I'm ready for it. We're going to stick to the NFL here. All-Pro Chandler Jones says that breaking one specific record next season, well, it's not going to be that hard.